Okay, I'm live. Hello, friends. I'm sorry I was a couple minutes late. I literally finished my feedback. I was typing so fast. Danny just asked me if I finished my feedback. Yes. And you're on your bike. I'm on my bike. It's gotten squeaky, so annoying. Hey, Danny. Hey, Teacher Kelly. If you get the chance, give a thumbs up to my video. I'm so sorry that on Tuesday you guys were looking for my live video and I didn't have it. I don't think I have enough subscribers to be able to send out a message to everyone, but that morning I realized I didn't have enough time to do a live because I brought my daughter to kindergarten roundup to see what it would be like, and I will talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so this morning I had 7 classes. So I taught, as you guys know, one of the most fun classes, which is the conversation one. What's it called? The talk something. I forgot. I have it written down somewhere. I can't even find my notes for it now. Good thing I already did the feedback. Okay. Anyway, free talk. Yes, free talk. Yes. So I had a free talk. Then I had a trial that was having IT issues. So they said, the fireman said, if we don't have the IT issues resolved by 15 minutes, I couldn't see or hear my student. I could just see they were in the classroom. I could only see their name. And so that was not my fault. That was their connection issue. And they kept going in and out. So anyway, so at 15 minutes, they canceled the class and marked it student IT. And it was a trial. So bummer. But I went ahead and wrote my feedback for my first class. So that's why I was able to write 5 feedbacks just now in 20 minutes. 5 feedbacks in 20 minutes. I think I broke a record. So yeah, instead of investing in Feedback Panda, which I haven't been convinced to do quite yet, I have in these 16 months with VIPKID challenged myself to become a faster and faster typer, which I'm already, isn't that funny? That I would be a slow reader and a fast typer. I think I like to talk. What do you think? So I'm a very speedy typer when I'm motivated and when I know what I'm saying. So I have my notes, I have my normal things that I say, and I was able to do my feedbacks, and that's awesome. I had a core or an MC who was 15 minutes late. Oh, wow. Still get paid for it. Today I got a 4 apple for a class that had like a lot of IT problems yesterday. We honestly didn't even get the class started until 12 minutes in. But her comment with the 4 apple was that the teacher seems a little tired. A little? That means I was faking it pretty good because I was probably a lot tired. But that's okay. Oh well. So about kindergarten roundup. So we had kindergarten roundup at our Christian school, and I've been flip-flopping back and forth as to whether or not my 4-year-old should start kindergarten in August. And going to kindergarten roundup gave me the clarity I needed to wait another year for kindergarten. Because I was considering starting her early since it's Christian school. She could pass the test and do it. But I realized that my sweet little baby needs another year with her mama. I would not call myself a homeschooler at all, but I've taught my children a lot of things. Yeah. Hey, Danny. So yeah, private school's expensive. So I'm going to take this next year and save some money for it, for one. And school goes on forever. Let her wait. Exactly. And the thing is, I was feeling pressured by a couple of loved ones of mine that said, she needs to go to school. She needs to go to school. Send her to school. So I was like, I don't know. We'll see. And then I realized when I took her to kindergarten roundup, she was sitting in her kindergarten chair and her feet were dangling. Her feet didn't even reach the ground. Okay. I'm like, she's still my baby. And she was able to do all the worksheets. They had them like trace all of the letters A to Z, and she did it. But she was the slowest out of the group because she's the youngest. And they had her cut with scissors guys, don't judge me. She's 4 years old. And I also have a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. This was my daughter's first time ever using scissors. They had her cut in a straight line and cut in a zigzag and cut in a curvy line. And she was like, I use scissors for the first time, Mommy. I'm like, is it bad that I have not taught my daughter how to use scissors yet? I honestly barely ever whip out the crayons and the markers. We use the Usborne books, paint with water books. And we also use Magna Doodles because my kids eat crayons. Like, the problem is I have a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. If my youngest was 4, I would have no problem giving her crayons and markers because she's responsible enough that she wouldn't make a mess with it. But my 3-year-old, she still bites crayons and ingests parts of them. And I'm not okay with that. And, you know, they'll color on paper for a while, but as soon as mama is out of sight, they're going to start coloring on the wall because they're ornery and naughty. And that's just goes with their age. Sorry, I bumped to the camera shook a little bit. So yeah. It's better if they are older than younger, not bad. Yeah. And they mentioned that part of the test for getting into kindergarten early or whatever is to have her address memorized and have a phone number memorized, like my phone number, and know how to spell her last name. So yeah, my 4-year-old, she knows how to write her first name. And I thought, my kid's a genius. She's ready for kindergarten. She can count to 100 with help. She knows all of her colors in English and a lot of them in Spanish. She can count to more than 10 in Spanish. She can count to 100 with help in English. I just said that. She knows all of her shapes and stuff. So I'm like, she's ready. You know, she loves to color. She loves school and stuff. So we're just going to, I got a membership to the zoo. We're going to go to the zoo on field trips. I have a membership to the Children's Museum. We can go to circle time at the library. We do Sunday school at church. So she gets kind of schooling-ish. And we watch, you know, educational videos, which obviously probably isn't the greatest, but you know, that's how they know a lot of things. So yeah, I actually have people encouraging me not to teach her to read. And that's actually coming from people who have children who were early readers, because apparently developmentally it's not that good for them to learn to read early. I don't really get it, but my daughter's a little bit learning to spell slowly but surely. Yeah. Okay. Danny said, can't imagine paying for private kindergarten. So, okay. This is another reason why I was like, you know what? These 2 people in my life that are pressuring me to send my kids to kindergarten, my daughter to kindergarten early, they're not paying the bills. Because I was thinking, well, I could get up earlier and teach more classes, and then I would have money for the bills and for private school and for groceries. I'm like, say goodbye to the extra spending money for going to Dollar Tree and getting some props. You know, I'm kind of full of props though, but I was like, I don't know about this. So I'd rather have a year to save up money. It is $417 with the discount for being members of the church for 1 month. $417 for 1 month. For a year, it is a little over $4,000. When you add a second child, they are $3,600. So that's like $7,000 for 2 kids. The thing is, if I work there full time, my kids can go to school there for free, but I don't want to go there yet because my kids are little. So I'm planning on working there probably full time with all three of my kids going there for free when they're older. Another reason I'm doing it is because I'm looking forward to my 4-year-old and 3-year-old being in the same class when they're in kindergarten and first grade, because this school's small enough that kindergarten and first grade are together. There's 8 students in the class with kindergarten and first grade together. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But honestly, I already worked at daycare there when when I was pregnant with Joshua and my Deborah was a baby and Esther was 1.5, I worked there part-time. And it was just kind of like earning pennies and not getting to spend time with my kids because they wouldn't let me work in the same room as my kids. And I really enjoyed the 3-year-old classroom, and I enjoyed having a change of pace. But when they put me in the infant room, it just was too stressful for me. And the coworkers in the infant room were a little bit gossipy and rude and mean. Even though it's a Christian place, not everybody's the nicest of humans. I really, really like my coworker in the 3-year-old classroom, but our boss wouldn't let us choose where we were. She would just put me where they needed me. Anyway, that's a tangent. But I much prefer teaching online to teaching at school. The other thing is I would have to change my schedule to earlier, and it would be a pain in the rear if I was the person. Okay, I would have to finish. If I was the person taking her to school and school starts at 8:15, I would have to bring all 3 of my kids in the car, and I would have to finish teaching early. And I might have to do that a couple days a week. I don't want to do that. I want my husband to take them. So we'll have his schedule figured out by a year from now. Right? Right. Have you thought of homeschool? That's sort of what I'm doing. I'm kind of doing, I don't have like a set curriculum, but I've taught my kids English and Spanish. They can count really high. They know their colors, letters, numbers, and shapes. But maybe someday I will warm up to the idea of homeschooling. My husband did Christian school and he really liked it. I did homeschool and public school and I really hated both. And then I went to Bible college and I liked Christian school in college. So yeah, it's probably coming from personal bias. But yeah. Yeah, here school goes on forever. Let her wait. Exactly. Hear that all the time also. I also hear it in my head. It's better if they are older than younger, not bad. Yes, and a mess. Can't imagine. I think that's talking about crayons and markers. Can't imagine paying for private kindergarten. I miss when my kids were so little. Exactly. That's my thing. I'm like, how are you going to take my baby away from me all day long? Right? She's mine. And then I come home and I'm with them like too much. And I'm like, I need a break. I want to hire a nanny. And my husband's like, nannies cost money. And I'm like, maybe you see I'm a valuable worker now. I'm sure he does, but sometimes. Okay. It says, I've never heard of being it bad for them to learn to read early. Yeah, that's a new thing that people are saying to me. I thought it was good. But I think some of the things they're saying is like when they can read early, they can read like the problem they have is that if they're a really advanced reader, the books that are made for their maturity level are made for their reading level for that age. So if you're a 9-year-old, you should be reading simple chapter books. But my friend, she has a 9-year-old who's reading like adult level. But the problem is there's not books like made for his maturity level and for his age group that are advanced readers, if that makes sense. So that's the problem she comes across as far as that goes. She a little bit wished she had pumped the brakes on teaching him to read early. And also things like, I don't know, reading at a young age, reading like magazine covers in the grocery line and like billboards or whatever. Like they've come across issues, but you know, we live in the world we live in, right? So I have a question for all of you about social media. What age are you guys going to allow your children to have a cell phone or even have a social media account? The reason I was thinking about this is I like I like watching short YouTube videos of Steve Harvey answering questions. And this one lady said, my 11-year-old daughter is following this girl, the Catch You Outside girl, on Instagram, and I don't like that she's following her. And I was just thinking, you're the mom. Like, take her phone. Like, don't allow her. If you don't want her to follow someone on Instagram, like, tell her you cannot follow that person, or you do not have Instagram, or tell her no more Instagram, you know? Like, my thing is, I don't get that logic. I'm not saying that I would be a totally controlling mom of older kids, but like, part of our job is to protect them. I think we don't want to be like overprotective, because I've heard of like kids that didn't know anything about the world and they went to college and they went crazy. But like, you have to teach your kids about the evil that exists in the world and teach them about making good decisions. You know, I am still wearing these crazy ears. You guys must think I'm crazy, or you must think I'm a VIP kid teacher. Let's part my hair. All right, so we have a play date today I'm looking forward to. I am officially an Usborne Books Consultant Distributor, and I am not spamming anyone. And I'm going to be getting my starter kit in the mail, and I'll have a unboxing video, and I will have the link for ordering cool books in the comments for that. I have been working on tons of props. That I'm going to be starting an Etsy shop. What I'm going to do is I'm making just enough props that I can have like big sets of props for like $20. So you're getting a lot, but that way it's not like individual props for $5, $3, or whatever, because it doesn't really make it worth it for me to make the drive to the post office. So I'm going to have like big sets of lots of cool props for like $20. So I think that's reasonable. I would buy it from me, right? Okay, it says, are you planning on sending them to Christian school long-term or just for a few years? Well, obviously, it has to do with where the Lord leads us. Right now, we're in Kansas City. We may someday go to Ecuador, South America, or we may someday move to another state. But for right now, we are living right here. And we love that our church has a really good Christian school, and it goes all the way from elementary through high school. So we're thinking long term, but if I worked there, I would earn a minimum wage paycheck, and I would work the hours that they're in school, and I would be off the hours that they're out of school, and I would have spring break with them, and summer break and winter break and everything. But yeah, it says the reading thing is because then when they get to school, they are ahead of the other kids and get bored waiting for the other kids to catch up. I was an elementary teacher, I know. Yeah, when I was a teacher's aide, I was an ESL teacher's aide, and I taught reading and math workshops. So what we would do was we would divide them up by their reading level, and the advanced kids would stay in the classroom, and the different levels of kids would be divided up, but it just makes for a difficult time. And just my 2 cents, when I was a little kid in elementary school, I was always taken out of the classroom for slow reading group, and I was basically labeled by my peers a slow reader, AKA dumb in my head. So I always, for all these years, thought I was stupid because I was a slower reader. And as an adult, as an ESL teacher, teaching those workshops, I realized that every person has their own area of genius. And just because you may not be a good test taker, or you may be a slow reader, like both of those were me, and I felt like I was dumb, that does not mean you're dumb, because my areas of genius is I'm an artistic person. I'm a social person. My brother got straight A's, but he doesn't know how to make friends. You know what I mean? Like, I have my area of expertise too. I'm good with languages. I enjoy languages. I think that's part of it. But so my brain, I'm very right-brained. I'm not left-brained. Left brain tends to be more intellectual. Right brain tends to be more creative. So I grew up thinking I was dumb and stupid. And as an adult teaching kids who think they're dumb and stupid, I had a revelation and realized these kids think they're dumb because they're struggling in school, but they're bilingual. English is their second language and they're doing great. Like, I wish kids didn't have that stigma with reading levels. And then other kids are so cocky and prideful because, oh, I'm a good test taker. I finished my test first. Oh, I finished reading first. But they have no comprehension. They do it so fast that they don't soak anything in. Whereas I was actually learning and soaking in because I would stutter when reading and still do a little bit and struggle, but I would soak in the information and remember it for longer rather than just this regurgitating, regurgitate for the test and forget thing, So I'm not a good test taker, but I'm good at retaining information for the most part. I'm not good at names, not good at numbers, not good at memorizing things. Unless it's something I'm interested in, like a poem or a monologue. I was in theater a little bit in high school, but I was not a star on the stage. I was in hair and makeup crew. And I was a villager in Beauty and the Beast. So let me catch up on what you're writing. It says, I think you will be ready for a break from them. I know I am. 7 months in now, homeschooling. Yeah, that's my thing is if I work at the school, is I won't have a break from my kids. I'll just have a break in what I'm doing. I won't have like an afternoon nap or anything. But it is wonderful to let kids learn at their own pace. Yeah, don't keep your kids back to be part of the herd. Yeah, that's true. I waited until middle school for my daughter. Oh, for the social media question. Was planning to wait for my son, but we got a good deal for four ones. So he got one at 10. That's not bad. Wasn't planning to start at 10. I think that if you keep track of what they're doing, just don't be unwise. Like some parents are like, oh, I didn't even know Instagram existed. Or like, oh, she has one Instagram account I know about and she has a secret one. Don't let your kids do that. Be one step ahead of them. Remember what it's like to be a kid. Keep track of what they're doing. Keep track of who they're friends with. I'm not saying control their life. I'm saying be involved in their life. Know what's going on with them so that when and teach them to be wise so they know about stranger danger and about predators on the internet, because you don't want your kid to run away and join the circus or something else. Okay, it says I have so many feelings about social media, but it's here. I am trying to set an example by not being on anything but YouTube. Yeah. Kelly, my son wanted and got an iPhone at 10 and broke it. I'm so glad. He doesn't miss it much. He's a sweet baby. Aww. Never social media for kids. That's right. I love what you said. Bless life. Don't keep your kids back to be part of the herd. Love that. My baby's crying. Yes, baby. Oh, my battery's dying on my phone. Enjoyed your live and all the beautiful tangents. Thanks. My last comment was about the phone, not social media. My daughter is on Instagram and I follow her. My son has no interest. Okay, my baby is crying, so we've had a lovely talk. And thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll try to see you on Tuesday. If I don't show up, I'm very sorry. Okay, bye. And it says end stream. Okay, bye. And yes.